Welcome to Will It Work? I'm Kevin. Today we're going to look at the APF MP-1000. This is old, and the APF MP-1000, finding one working is difficult because I'm not going to say they weren't built well, but they just tend to not be in great shape when people find them. There is a computer for this. It's like a full-size keyboard with a tape drive on it. It was part of, you would put this kind of on a bay next to it, and it was called the APF Imagination Machine. But this was just the actual console which came out first. The Imagination Machine didn't really sell. And one of the reasons a lot of these systems that added on keyboards and things to give you a full-fledged computer, the reason they didn't really work out that well was, obviously a lack of software that people could use on these things. I think a lot of people figured people would just program in their own things, which nobody really knew how to do, and it wasn't really something that a lot of people embraced at first. And also because they weren't really robust, they didn't have a lot of memory in them. And so, you kind of hit a wall pretty quickly. Most of the memory came around from the system itself, the cartridges that you would put in, etc. But here, you didn't, if you had a computer connected to it, you could put in a basic cartridge or something, and then that would sort of preclude you from having another game or something. It's why one of the reasons like things like Commodore 64 did really well is because it had BASIC built into it, and then at the same time you could load games or put in cartridges and all this sort of stuff, and it had a nice healthy 64K of memory, where things like this probably had about 2K in them. Okay, so we're going to see if this works. Not only do these things tend to not necessarily work right, but also the controllers tend to not be so good. These are detachable. There's some people who think that these are not. I've read some things online. They're totally detachable. There's a fire button on top, little red fire button, and then you have a number pad here on the bottom. It's not a terrible design, right? These controllers are okay, etc. So, yeah, I don't know. But it comes with one built-in game. We'll go ahead and take a look at that one game, and then I also have a cartridge, and we'll pop that cartridge in and see if that works as well. Yeah, here we go. We'll switch over to the video side, and we'll take a look at the APF MP-1000. Okay, so looking at the APF microcomputer, 1978, it has a built-in game called Rocket Patrol. So we'll take a look at that. Got the left controller in my hands. There's one of the guys that was an engineer, one of the first black engineers that worked in video gaming. I think he might have been the second one historically, but he was interviewed about the APF MP-1000 because he worked on it and helped to design it. And there's some really good articles about him online, and I believe he wrote a book about it too. And it's pretty interesting. It gives you kind of a window into what was going on at that point in time, and how things were being built and developed, and the conversations and these companies, putting these things together. And yeah, I don't know, but if you get an opportunity to look for it online, it's a nice little piece of history. All right, so we have two-player. Number one, and player and computer. Now if I just move the joystick around, it just automatically goes into I guess some sort of single player mode. It's a very basic game. Now, I don't know if there's sound. I don't hear anything, but let me put in this other plug. Yeah, there is sound. When the got lucky there. When the menu was up, it was playing static, so I didn't go ahead and put that in there. It's almost harder to get around these spaceships. Now, let me hit reset. Let me just try hitting player and computer, so 2. It's like it says like the computer. It's just like the computer's turn or something. It's really weird. Okay, let's reset that again. Let's do 2-player. No. Reset again. Let's do number 2, player and computer. It's the same thing. Yet if I move the joystick, sure what's going on here. Let me kill the power. Bring it back online. I feel like the fire button might be stuck or something. Although it says computer on the top. So using the right control, pick the game mode. Using the left control is actually playing the game. Anyway, it looks like it works good. It has a nice clean signal, so this is really good news because these things are not necessarily easy to get to work. Yeah, I've got another breakout style game. Let's take a look at that.